Hi everyone and welcome to the March episode of DroneBlocks Up in the Air. I'm your host Clinton Evans. March was such a full-on month and I can't wait to show you what happened. So this episode we're going to be covering DroneBlocks attending the NSTA conference. Then I'm going to show you this incredible drone company that Mark Rober highlighted in one of his videos on his YouTube channel. After that, we're going to be looking at ChatGPT in our DroneBlocks simulator that uses Python. And then lastly, we're going to check out the solutions for the February Up in the Air challenge. There's a lot to get into, so let's dive into it. So first up, we had DroneBlocks and Unitree put on a show at the NSTA. That's the National Science Teaching Association Spring 2023 conference. It was such a great event. Science and STEM-focused teachers from around the country came together. It was a one-of-a-kind learning and networking experience. That's really cool. And what I really like is that the teachers got to see firsthand what the robotic dogs are all about. So you have people interacting with them, the dogs did demonstrations. It was very cool. In fact, if you jump onto Twitter, you can see a whole bunch of people recording these dogs, putting videos up on them. There's one interacting with a human, which is very cute. There's other clips of the dog dancing and it turns upside down and then it rolls back. But I really like that firsthand people got to see just how engaging these are, and to think about this in the students' hands. There's so much potential for these students to dive into robotics, engineering, coding, and to think we live in a time where we can actually put robotic dogs in the classroom. So I just can't wait to see what the future holds. And I myself would have definitely been at this event if we had teleportation. And speaking of teleportation, Mark Rober released an awesome video in March highlighting the company Zipline. Zipline do some fantastic work with drones overseas, and in this video, Mark highlights this delivery system where the drone flies above your house and it ziplines a baby little drone down to your backyard or your step, and it delivers your food or your supplies or your package with, what Mark said, dinner plate accuracy. It's so cool. So it lands there and then the carriage goes back up to the main drone. What I love about that is you don't have a big powerful drone flying in your backyard. You don't have the noise that comes with that. You also don't have the safety risk of, like, say you had a dog running around and this giant drone landed. Who knows what would happen? But with this system of ziplining a little drone down, dropping off your package, and then pulling up the carriage, it just opens up the world of opportunity. Mark has a great 21-minute video on his channel. Highly recommend that you check it out. And speaking of highly recommended, has anyone used ChatGPT to get something recommended to them lately? ChatGPT is doing some next level things out there. The internet's all abuzz. Everywhere you look, ChatGPT is popping up. But more so, Dennis, who is a real human, certified, can guarantee, Dennis saw this great video by Microsoft that used ChatGPT and a Tello drone to fly around an office and got inspired to make a DroneBlocks Tello simulator that uses ChatGPT to fly a simulated drone. Dennis has all the source code up. You can download it, follow along on his video. Links are down below, and he will show you how to get set up so that you can experiment with ChatGPT and the DroneBlocks simulator using the Python programming language. It's really mind-blowing, so I highly recommend you check that out. And that takes us to the last thing to talk about, the February Up in the Air challenge. Now, I asked you to either fly in a heart or do a dance with your drone. I'm about to show you my solution to the challenge and how to fly in a heart, but I just have to say, I could not have done this without Mark's completed GeoGebra course. I decided to take what I learned from the GeoGebra course, put it into a function that took in a number that would determine the size of the heart, and then I threw it into a loop that would just increase the size of the heart on each iteration, so I could effectively fly 5 little hearts that make it look like the one heart is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And a huge shout out to Mark Urscher as well, because Mark submitted to the February challenge, instead of a heart or a dance, well, this is kind of a dance, an homage to the Windows Pipes 3D screensaver. Those of you who can remember that. But basically the drone flies in a random pattern each time. It's not the same every time you launch the code. So by the time this is finished, and again, I'll just speed this up, you have a very random pattern that the drone has flown. So you copy this code. You can find a link to the code in the community page under the February challenge. But if you ran the same code with your students, each time they'd get a different result. You could run it with your Tello if you had enough room, and you'd see your Tello do some really strange stuff. But then that takes us to the end of this video, and my challenge for March is to have you or your students build a chore wheel using the Tello drone. Basically the Tello drone would just take off. It it would spin in a random circle, and then it would stop randomly and move a few inches forward to select the person closest in that direction, and then they have to do the chore, whether it's stacking chairs or desks or cleaning, I don't know, whatever chores you have in your classroom. But see if you can make that, and if you can't, don't worry, I'll show you the solution in next month's video. So thanks for watching, and that takes us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed watching or you learned something new, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the DroneBlocks YouTube channel. I'll see you next month, but until then, keep your drones in the air, your students engaged, and have fun.